If it came to us flying the pride flag, with my belief that pride is the deadliest of the deadly sins, I honestly would have had to resign because I could not support a decision to actually fly a pride flag.
This is the flag you were likely picturing, but this is what was presented to trustees at the board meeting. Displaying colors typically associated with pride, the flag also contains religious symbols and scripture.
Outrage and disappointment, some of the reactions to comments made at a Waterloo Catholic District School Board meeting. School Board trustees unveiled an altered version of the pride flag that looks quite different than the rainbow symbol of inclusiveness. CTV's Natalie Van Roy reports.
It was this symbol of inclusion that Sarah Mathers pushed for while a student at Resurrection Catholic Secondary School.
We were not allowed to fly the pride flag in the front of our school. And me and peers of mine felt that that was not showing support.
Now a graduate, her disappointment compounded after comments from a trustee at a recent board meeting.
If it came to us flying the pride flag, with my belief that pride is the deadliest of the deadly sins, I honestly would have had to resign because I could not support a decision to actually fly a pride flag.
There isn't space for intolerance like those type of comments. And I would imagine that much of the LGBTQ community would actually applaud a resignation from someone making those kind of comments.
I'm incredibly worried about local queer students and how his comments are going to further hurt them.
The comments made as this new flag design was unveiled for Pride Month. A statement from the board says they are acting on behalf of students who have articulated previously their desire to see our school fly some outward symbol that reflects our lived reality of inclusion and which shares that message with the broader community. WCDSB will therefore fly the following flag for the entire month of June at each of its buildings and school locations. Kitchener Mayor Barry Verbanovic took to Twitter to express his disappointment over the decision to not fly the pride flag. Brock McGillis, a former OHL player, travels to schools to speak about coming out and inclusiveness.
Kids come to me who are at those schools and are struggling and had been working to get this to happen. And I'm not surprised it didn't happen. Still a lack of inclusion. That said, it has to change.
Many hoping the board reconsiders and flies the traditional pride flag. Natalie Van Roy, CTV News, Kitchener.
The Waterloo Catholic District School Board says it plans to fly a pride flag above its schools for the first time during Pride Month in June. But it's not the rainbow flag. The board's new flag was unveiled during a virtual meeting Monday night, and one trustee threatened to resign, saying he doesn't want to see a pride flag flown over a Catholic school. Here's CTV's Natalie Van Roy.
The Catholic School Board's pride flag has rainbow colors as well as religious symbols and scripture. Trustees at odds over whether to use the flag. Melanie Van Alphen suggesting if the board wants to honor Pride Month, why not use the rainbow flag? A statement from the board says they are acting on behalf of students, going on to say have articulated previously their desire to see our school fly some outward symbol that reflects our lived reality of inclusion and which shares that message with the broader community. WCDSB will therefore fly the following flag for the entire month of June at each of its buildings and school locations. Meanwhile, some trustees completely against the idea.
If it came to us flying the pride flag, with my belief that pride is the deadliest of the deadly sins, I honestly would have had to resign because I could not support a decision to actually fly a pride flag.
At 6, why the board hasn't flown a pride flag in the past.
Waterloo Region Catholic trustees are at odds over the pride flag, which some students wanted flown during Pride Month in June. CTV's Jeff Pickle live with that story tonight. So Jeff, the Catholic board has its own idea about what should be flown as a symbol of inclusivity.
Tony, the Catholic board for the first time will fly a special flag over its schools during Pride Month, but it's not the typical rainbow flag that you probably associate with Pride. Instead, it's something brand new. And the discussion over which flag to use prompted one trustee to threaten his resignation. This is the flag you were likely picturing, but this is what was presented to trustees at the board meeting. Displaying colors typically associated with Pride, the flag also contains religious symbols and scripture.
And let you know that I was very disappointed with this report.
Trustee Van Alphen, the most vocal critic of the new flag, asked if the board wants to honor Pride Month, why not use the flag that already exists?
The report that you just shared shows that you have spent a significant amount of time meeting, discussing, and designing a flag that you feel represents Pride, but there's already a flag for that, and it's the rainbow flag.
The board says they're acting on behalf of students who they say have articulated previously their desire to see our school fly some outward symbol that reflects our lived reality of inclusion and which shares the message with the broader community. But Van Alphen argued students don't want some outward symbol, they want the rainbow flag.
2 petitions were circulated last year. Safe Spaces Resurrection GSA wants to fly the rainbow flag at the front of our school to display the diversity of gender identity and sexual orientation in the Resurrection community.
When asked why the board does not fly the traditional Pride flag, the board says the decision is not entirely theirs alone to make.
We as a board are part of a much larger community, and so we have tried to work respectfully and in dialogue with our other Catholic partners to arrive at a decision that is reflective of who we are as a Catholic education community.
Now, other trustees spoke out in support of the newly designed flag, including Greg Reitzel, who says the day he sees the rainbow flag fly above a Catholic school will be his last day as a trustee.
Honestly, if it came to us flying the Pride flag, with my belief that Pride is the deadliest of the deadly sins, I honestly would have had to resign because I could not support a decision to actually fly a Pride flag.
So clearly a hot button issue, but as it stands now, it's the new flag and not the rainbow flag that will fly above Catholic schools come June.
In the form of a statement from a trustee with the Waterloo Catholic District School Board. Greg Reitzel's comments over whether the Pride flag should be flown outside Catholic schools were met with disappointment and outrage from the LGBTQ community.
If it came to us flying the Pride flag, with my belief that Pride is the deadliest of the deadly sins, I honestly would have had to resign because I could not support a decision to actually fly a Pride flag.
Those were Reitzel's remarks at Monday night's school board meeting. School board trustees unveiled an altered version of the Pride flag. It's not the traditional rainbow, as a way to mark Pride Month. In a statement, Trustee Reitzel says he supported the proposed flag at the board meeting, saying he's been an advocate for inclusion in schools. He goes on to say that he is deeply saddened that people have been hurt by words that I said, but hope that they will understand that they were taken out of the context of the meeting as a whole, and hope that they can focus on my earlier statement, which is much more indicative of what I truly believe. And a statement from the chair of the board, Bill Conway, says, we wish to clarify that the comments made by Trustee Reitzel about Pride as one of the deadliest sins was made in the context of faith and in no way made in reference to the LGBTQ2 community. Trustee Reitzel does not believe a person identifying as LGBTQ is a sin and deeply apologizes to anyone that may have interpreted his comments that way. Reitzel's comments have sparked plenty of reaction on social media, with some calling for the trustee to resign. We reached out to him for further comment on camera. He told us he has a very full schedule at work today.
Waterloo Catholic District School Board announcing tonight it will fly no flag at all to mark Pride Month in June, but says it will reach out to the LGBTQ community to plan for the future. The board was criticized this week after unveiling its own flag for Pride Month and not using the internationally recognized rainbow flag some students petitioned for. The board says it's clear the new design led to division, and out of respect for all, they'll fly no flag. It will hang the new flag in school lobbies this fall and will reach out to the LGBTQ community to prepare for Pride 2021. A retired Catholic educator who identifies as a member of the LGBTQ community telling us tonight she's cautiously hopeful that this can lead to positive change.
To me, that says they're willing to listen and they're willing to grow, and I see that as a very hopeful sign. I prefer to err on the side of hope and give people the benefit of the doubt, but also hold their feet to the fire a little bit, which is why I'm agreeing to do this, because this needs to change. It's not good enough anymore. There's too many people, young people, not feeling that they're welcomed, included. I always say students should not just survive, they need to thrive.
The president of Try Pride also reacting tonight, saying he's hopeful this conversation will lead to change for students in the Catholic school system.
I think it will, especially with the statement that was just released, that they are hoping to work with organizations for next steps, which does bring some hope that we can create a space that the LGBTQ community is accepted openly in the Catholic School Board.
The board reinforcing that this year's decision factors in feedback from students and the community.